Oh, fuck.
Hey everybody, this is me, Jimmy.
And this is me, Jarrett. Welcome back to Area Nerdy 1. We're here and in the
I'm
bunker.
about to open a cold one with the boys.
Already cracked one. I took mine out of a glass like a civilized human being.
I drink mine out of a can like a God-fearing American.
I fear God, just not the same way you do.
That's not bad, actually. I was worried a bit this was going to
I
be
told you it was gonna
disgusting,
be good.
but
yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty good. It's kind of like a fake mead.
Anywho,
Anyway,
welcome to Area Nerdy 1 Gamevember 2022, where it's all about games, except when we don't talk about games.
which is actually going to be quite often because
Yeah.
we're not that big of gamers, unfortunately.
Well, we got some new stuff coming out. So.
Absolutely. But, of course, this is right after spooky season, so we all hope you had a great and safe Halloweens.
I tell you what, like, my wife and I, we got Reese's and we got Kit Kats. But we're like, my wife's a teacher. She's like, we need something for the hypoallergenic kids. So I splurged and got those gummy Krabby Patties because that's what I would have wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
And they were a hit.
Oh, good. Well, my girlfriend and I at our apartment, we decided to get candy, our favorites, Snickers and Reese's.
Yeah.
And not give them to anybody.
Yeah.
Except ourselves.
Did you get any trick or treaters?
No, we didn't get any trick or
Yeah,
treaters.
you're up on the second floor.
We
Like,
we also turned off the porch light on purpose, so no trick or treaters came to see us.
That's fair. One guy I saw walking down the street, it was an adult. He was dressed as Eddie from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And he was handing out candy and stuff, but he was handing out like little Halloween single packs of Pokemon cards. Right. So I was first of all like, oh, that's an awesome thing to hand out on Halloween. I'm gonna do that next year. But then I was like, where the fuck did he get Pokemon cards?
Yeah, that's a hot ticket item right there.
You can't get Pokemon cards if you're at the factory.
Yeah. So also of course be careful. Cut your kids' candy open. We cut open one of our Snickers and we found the Communist Manifesto inside of it. Terrible.
That's right. You know what? I cut it open and I found the liking the sequel trilogy of Star Wars inside my candy.
Terrible. You know what happened last night?
What?
We cut open our gun and we found candy inside. We were
Oh no!
Anyway, we are going to be talking about a lot about games this month. So of course we have a lot of new games coming out, especially ramping up to EA and E3. Sorry, and of course the Christmas season.
Yeah. November is a big gaming month for me because I'm waiting for those Cyber Monday sales to hit Steam.
Absolutely. So, for anybody who's a big avid gamer and watching, Jimmy and I are more of casual gamers. We definitely have the games we like to play. We kind of play those over again, but there are the games that we are looking to get.
So, all right. Well, let's start off this month with our wish list, Jared. What are you looking at?
So, what I'm looking at right now, is of course New World. Looks amazing. When it came out, I thought it was really interesting. I love the whole, the mythical colonial era kind of thing,
I do like that vibe, but New World is glitchy as hell.
So that's another thing we're gonna be talking about all month, and obviously we talked about this a lot when we talk about games in general. Is when they get released, is they're kind of released half baked. That's always been an issue when a game is released and suddenly we have millions and millions of people playing it. There are going to be bugs, but like I always bring up is Fallout 76. It does appear that a lot of games just get released without any real, patches, right?
Yeah, it seemed. I think the biggest one more recent, like last year, was Cyberpunk 2077.
Obviously, it was really bad, and
Yeah.
of course, Modern Warfare 2 was released. It was very buggy, but I think it was more of the a new game getting released.
Yeah.
The reviews on that have been really good, and a lot of players have loved it.
And I'm gonna shit on an indie game for a while. I recently downloaded the Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, which is basically a vampire themed Fortnite, so it's pretty cool. But it's really I can't play it. It kicks me out every single time. So yeah, it's rough.
I do hate that when it happens. I also don't like. I've already brought this up before. I really hate it when new games are just like Fortnite. You have to play it with 4 people.
Yeah,
you have to. You can't play the game otherwise. But one of the games I'm looking forward to, because it is one of those games that you have to play with 4 people, was Vermintide. It was the Warhammer game, but that wasn't really my vibe. I like Warhammer for the strategy and stuff. So something else came along.
What was that?
Blight.
Blight? Okay.
Oh yeah, Blight. So it's a four-person player game. It's in medieval times. It asks stuff. You're a knight or
Medieval times as in the time period, or
Time
medieval
period.
or medieval times as in the restaurant chain.
That would be a good game.
Yeah.
That would be a good game.
But it's like you're not like one of the knights. You're a medieval times manager. It's
Evil spelled evil though.
medieval time.
Medieval times. Yes. No, it's like Dark Ages, and you play as knights fighting undead zombies.
Oh, so that's the entire premise of the game.
This is the entire premise of the game.
You said it was Fortnite-esque. Is it a battle royale?
I like to think if you have to play it with four people to actually play the game, I always call that Fortnite stuff. But it's not really a battle royale. It's more of a Vermintide or a Black Tide kind of game.
Okay.
You know, you're fighting against waves of enemies, and that's the only part of the game.
Oh, so it's zombies.
Yes.
I don't ban me.
Don't ban us.
Okay, so that's coming out. Is that going to be cross-platform?
We don't know yet. It's going to be releasing on Steam, but we don't have a release date yet. It looks like this is going to be like more of an indie game, so we're going to see how it functions and when it actually releases. But it looks really good so far, and I'm excited personally.
So is there any other games coming out that you want to look at?
Yeah, and this one's a kind of a sad one. Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet.
So
I don't know.
These are Pokemon, but they're motorcycles, which I didn't get a picture of, but
Yep.
I'm gonna see if I can get it. All right, Jared, why don't you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on this game?
So first and foremost, I just don't really like any of these Pokemon designs that are coming out. I know I'm in the minority, but I just don't. These are also the box art legendary. So these are as far as the region is concerned, they're gods, the most powerful entities, and you can just chain them up outside as you go into the Pokemon store,
Oh, that's what that lizard thing is. Like I saw the oh god, what's the Pokemon's name? But anyway, it looks like a dinosaur lizard type thing. But I was like, it looks kind of like a I don't know. It looks like it would turn. Yeah, it looks like a transformer almost.
Yeah. So they transform into bikes, and I think also one turns into also a glider.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just been getting less and less interested in the Pokemon games as they've been releasing. I'm not really excited by a lot of the designs. Obviously, there are some that I really like and really enjoy.
You're gonna get a jarring image in front of you for a second.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
Oh no!
It's not that bad.
Oh god! Oh jeez.
Yeah, so some of them look good. It's just that I'm kind of like the gimmicks. I think are just like super, super gimmicky, and then the rest of the game is just Breath of the Wild.
So I'm getting very much the vibes of that one season of Yu-Gi-Oh, where for some reason they had them also riding around on motorcycles.
Yeah, which was not
while they were dueling, and there wasn't really a reason for them to do that.
No,
it didn't affect the dueling didn't affect the motorcycle riding or vice versa.
Nope.
It was just kind of like they were on a endless track while they were dueling.
Yep. And
it was like a race and a duel, but they didn't really.
Well, I remember from the anime because there are in the season like the bad card group or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're like the Inca and the Mayan outlines.
Yeah.
That are what are they called?
Like the Nazca lines.
The Nazca lines. Yes, they're like Nazca lines.
Okay.
So when they play them, it kind of becomes like a racetrack because it's outlined, which kind of makes sense thematically. But again, motorcycles, it doesn't really make
okay,
sense.
so they were going through a phase. So, but the thing with this Pokemon thing, you seem to have beef, Jarrett. What's your beef?
I think I really do like Pokemon. I think Pokemon is a really fun game. I think it has a good concept. I think it's I understand why people of all ages like it. And I love it. I still play Pokemon Go. But the thing is, I think this time around, I'm officially at the point where I'm like, I don't really care. I think these designs and these kind of gimmicks just kind of drained it from me. Like, I'm not excited about Pokemon anymore.
Yeah, well, you know me, I fell off the actual playing the game train after Emerald. So way back in the day, so I haven't gotten to play Pokemon like that in a long time. But you're right. It's somewhat the same formula, just trying to put like a little tweak on it with like thematically and stuff. And this time, their gimmick is the Pokemon are also motorcycles.
Yeah, and Legends Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus,
Yeah.
was literally just Breath of the Wild with Pokemon in it. I really don't like that. I mean, I like the Pokemon games when they're simple, and I get getting them to a bigger platform and stuff. But I don't know. These just don't seem to have the playability and the concept that I would like.
What's your beef with Breath of the Wild?
Nothing. It's just that I don't like it when they take a $60 game and then reskin it and then sell it for $60 and say, "Hey, this is brand new."
Don't tell that to every freaking Call of Duty game that's ever existed, but
Exactly. But like, at least they like try to make their own games and not just recycle the and other game that they made.
That's fair. All right, so how do you have any other parting thoughts, parting jabs for this?
The one thing that would make up for this is if they have good starter designs where they don't have just a shitty bipedal fire type. They have a good water typing Pokemon too for the starter, and their pseudo legendary isn't a dragon.
It'll probably be a dragon. I mean, like, come on, Jared. It's a dragon. It's legendary.
A pseudo legendary.
Yeah.
But the two honestly best pseudo legendary Pokemon ever made, Tyranitar #1, Metagross #2.
Yeah, but Tyranitar, I play Tyranitars a lot with Pokemon Go, and they are dummy underpowered. Like, you go up against a water or a grass type, like, it's just done.
You go up against a fighting type, you might as well just give up.
Yeah, just give up there. So like, I hate rock type. I hate it so much.
The typings need to be redone a little bit.
Not as much as I hate fairy type though, because for the opposite reason, because it's so OP.
Yeah, and
like,
they're just like shit brick houses. You can't take those bad boys down.
Yeah, I mean, unless maybe you have a poison type, but like poison types are
garbage.
Yeah, garbage. Yeah.
You can't really get away. You need a steel type. Take her down.
Yeah. So let's get a poison steel type. Is there a poison steel type?
Well, you could just get a steel type Pokemon.
I mean, yeah. Poison steel Pokemon. Take me there, Google.
No.
No. Okay.
Not at all.
A much rated poison steel type is an engine. Fans were, huh. Okay, so apparently, that's the one combo that hasn't been done yet.
Really? That's amongst other combos. But the thing I really don't like about Pokemon is that their concepts for new Pokemon I don't like that much because they're not very creative. But I go on Instagram and I'll look up Fakemon, and there are thousands of creators that make awesome fan art all the time.
The Fakemons, yeah. What I really like is on Instagram, he's Joshua Dunlop concept artist. That's the full name. And he has like this, hyper realistic computer CGI art that he does of Pokemon, and then he'll have the whole the premise is like when you read the description is like, these are pictures taken by a Pokemon photographer who goes out and studies Pokemon and stuff, and that's how have a little story or an adventure associated with it.
Oh,
love it! It's
nice.
mint. Like the one he for Tentacruel, he did one for like a regular Tentacruel, and then he did one for the giant Tentacruel.
Ooh.
And you see, and like the scene, I'll put this up in a TikTok if I make it, but the scene is like this little fishing boat, and then underneath it is this massive Tentacruel just under the water.
Ooh.
Triggers my thalassophobia so bad.
Yeah. Well, also I really like, I do understand fans that are like sticklers for the rules and stuff. I like fossil Pokemon that are, still have that rock typing.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Ice Age Pokemon, where they had, instead of the rock typing, they had the ice type.
Yeah. Like a Mamoswine.
Yeah, like a Mamoswine. But, I saw somebody did a concept art for an Ice Age Pokemon where it was a mammoth Pokemon, but it was ice electric.
Mm-hmm.
And it had, electric tusks. It was
cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I think at this point, after, everyone says, after this generation, it sucks and stuff. I had, genuine interest in generations after Gen 3, Gen 4, which I grew up with. Now, I think at this point, I'm like, I don't think this is it. Nah, dog.
Yeah. So, one thing I noticed is, you may have noticed I'm a big karate nerd.
Yeah.
And one of my Pokemon that I would put in my top six is now Sock. But, Sock wears clothes. It's a person. It's a person that likes karate.
Yeah, it's just a dude.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't really see myself having a Pokemon that's just a dude.
Yeah.
But, so that's, I have noticed, the ice cream cone design.
I like that. It's an ice cream cone Pokemon, but it's it looked like an ice cream cone, but you could tell, it's like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's not just like an ice cream cone. but then they have like an actual ice cream Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like it's not Vanillite or it's chain. It's just a Pokemon made out of like ice cream.
Is that the cotton candy one?
Yeah, that one and another one. There's literally I think in the Gallagher region, it's made out of like whipped cream or something, and it tastes good based on how well it bonds with its trainer. Yeah, somebody needs to get fired.
Yeah, it's like the Asdef movie Muffin. Somebody eat me.
Somebody, I want to die. And like watch the president of Konami's watching this, and he's like realizes somebody put their fetish through into the Pokemon game, and they haven't caught it until now.
Oh God.
Yeah. Somebody comes into someone's designer's room. What is this?
I mean, if they were concerned about that, then Lot Bunny would not exist.
They did. You saw what they did with the Mega, right? The Lot Bunny.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
They knew what they did.
Okay.
They knew what they did. Don't look it up.
That's an incognito window search. Okay. All right. So next thing's next. Yeah. Leaving off on that little note.
Yeah. Wow. We're so lucky we have sponsors.
All right. What's next in the gaming world? Do you have anything else?
I do not at this point. Do you?
No, but in nerdy, I talked a lot about games last time. I talked about all the spooky, scary games coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move on because this week in nerdy news, some shit went down. Well, it's a win and a loss, depending on how big of a fan you are. So
we'll talk about it.
Our man Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. Whoop, whoop. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Superman is my boy. Now, that I catch so much shit for being a Superman fan. Like, people are always like, oh, Superman, it's the safe bet. You know how much shit I catch for being a Superman fan?
Yeah, but it's a safe bet, but then they turned them all edgy, actually, kind of like Homelander. They're like, oh, well, that's what they do all the time.
No, they didn't, though. Like, he's, like, okay, they didn't, though. Like, okay, Batman v Superman, it's only slightly dark, because he's got some tough choices to make. And but one of the things that Henry Cavill has come out saying is he wants to play a joyful Superman, and I like Henry Cavill's portrayal because one of the things I really like about Superman as a character is his optimism.
Yeah.
And the people everyone around him, like Batman included, are like, no, you've got to make tough choices. You're the most powerful man. You got to be dark and brooding. Well, he's like, no, I'm going to do the right thing.
In Batman v Superman, Batman sees him as the guy who has one bad day and kills everybody.
Yeah.
Can kill everybody. And I think the point of Batman v Superman was that Superman usually is a very joyous and hopeful person, but the fact that the world sees him so differently, it's wearing down on him. Literally, the world's strongest man has the world on his shoulders and it's crushing him.
Yeah, and I like that. Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
And I liked Henry Cavill's portrayal because people are like, oh, he's edgy and stuff. It's like, okay. Like, a normal person isn't going to be like Christopher Reeves all the time. Like, Christopher Reeves, he put, when he's Superman, he's like, I hope this, he saves a train. I hope this hasn't put you off using the Metropolitan subway, and then flies away. Like
what the fuck was that?
Yeah, like this Superman doesn't have the persona that he puts on.
Yeah, but I feel like definitely in Justice League, in those kind of shorter clips, Henry Cavill Superman definitely comes across as the Superman is very approachable. You know? Maybe doesn't always have that aha.
Yeah. But in the beginning, I hope that's my favorite scene is the kids are filming we're filming this for our YouTube channel, and they're like, can we ask you a few questions? He's like, sure. He's just I think Christopher Reeves' Superman was Christopher Reeves' Superman. I don't think you should go based off of that.
Yeah. A Superman that's a superpowered person flying around, just being this is what happens. It's a good way to do a modern Superman.
Yeah, and and you mentioned this is like Homelander, so I do think that our we started to become inundated with the evil Superman character, which was kind of cool. There are ways to do that that are really cool. But I gotta stop watching The Boys. Honestly, I started watching it. It stresses me out so much. It stresses me out so much, man.
It's everyone. That is one of the few shows where I can go, everyone was cast perfectly. Everyone is great in the role.
Yeah.
And maybe not every scene hits like it should.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think every scene is just about necessary for the character. And everyone gets their own character building moments.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's got a story. Even they keep bringing back the Deep, and I'm like, why is he in this? But he's got a story going.
Yeah, it makes sense. you
Yeah,
know?
and yeah, but like I thought Homelander was stressing me out, and then Stormfront came along and like stresses me out so much how terrible that character is.
And it's relatable to
I know, and
the world. It's horrible.
like I just saw the one where she like Homelander he messes up and he's getting the bad publicity, and she's like, here, I'll create a meme storm and bring you back on top, and I was like, oh my god,
That's it. That's all it took.
life imitating art or vice versa. But yeah, so back to Superman. Also, I like the idea of a big old showdown between Superman and like Homelander, Omni Man, the guy one from what was it? The kid the kid
Brightburn?
yeah, Brightburn.
Okay, so actually I know how this goes down.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's the Goku effect.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Superman is the most powerful person in his universe.
Yeah.
No matter what. He is infinity plus one. Just like Goku. No matter what happens, he is the best. He can take anybody down, basically, plus one.
It depends on who's writing him, but yeah, yes.
But that's kind of like the point. Omni-Man is not the strongest character in his universe. Homelander is the strongest person in his universe. But even the writers and directors and the original creators of The Boys say he's just strong for his universe. And if they said if he went up against like anyone else who's even remotely as strong as him, like from another universe, he would get his ass kicked. Just because he's never fought anybody like him.
Right.
He's never actually been in a real fight. He's never had to worry about fighting somebody, and obviously Superman's gonna win.
Yeah, Omni Man.
Excuse me. Are we talking about Omni Man from the comics or the TV show?
I've only seen the TV show, so let's go with that one. Omni Man, I've seen in that like watching his character fight, especially when he's fighting his son. He is I don't know how else to put this, a superhuman martial artist. So basically, he's able to use like his flying and his abilities as a fighting style.
Yes. However, I will say one thing. Spoiler alert for
mega spoiler.
Yeah,
it's been out for a year, so.
So the what is it? The Defenders of the Globe.
The Globe. Yeah, like
Defenders of the Globe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like
so,
they're Justice League.
Yeah. So when Omni-Man kills them, it's close.
Yeah.
Like he fights them, and by the end he is basically almost dead.
Yeah, he's in a coma.
He's in a coma. Superman, if he fought the Justice League, I'm not saying he wouldn't break a sweat, but he wouldn't almost be dead.
Okay, but I'm gonna swap over.
But also the actual Justice League is stronger than the Guardians of the Globe as well.
Yeah, but like. Not in every incarnation of the Justice League, but like especially in this incarnation of Justice League, like it's not even close.
Yeah, no.
Like when they have to fight and restrain him, like he is in a league so far above everyone in there that they can't beat him.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, there was no way.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you think about this movie, the scene where the Flash is running and Superman just like looks at him, and then he cuts back to Ezra Miller, and they're like. Oh,
he's like, oh, yeah. That's my favorite part of that entire movie. Ezra Miller is a piece of shit, by the way. But like when he's running, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then Kal just is like, his face is like, oh shit.
That's like one of the things I really like in superhero movies is where you like the Flash, and he's like the fastest man alive. No one has ever beaten the Flash in like a running match.
Yeah.
Not even close. You know, he's fought Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
You know, but then when he comes up against somebody who like can keep up.
Yeah.
Like that moment, I love those moments. It's just like, oh,
I got to come up with something different now.
Like not even that he had to come up with something different. He was outclassed just because he had to fight somebody in the quick speed, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to get into the behind the scenes a little bit. I don't love getting into behind the scenes because there's no way of knowing like what actually is either hype or rumor or actually can be attributed to people. But there definitely seems to be some shakeups and some restructuring going on at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. They have not been exactly doing a great job as of late with the Justice League, with the whole DC extended universe.
Yeah.
So they had some shakeups.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows about Justice League, the Snyder Cut, the Snyderverse, which apparently may have been entirely bots that wanted to get that. Which I'm a little I'm a little disinclined to believe because I have at least one friend on Facebook who I used to work with who spent like the 4 years after Justice League coming out
Yeah.
constantly posting about like there was a human person I knew in real life who was yeah.
But the thing is, like, the thing with Zack Snyder when he makes a movie, like especially like these movies, he should have just made two. Justice League, the Snyder cut, was just a longer version of the original Justice League, and it definitely shouldn't have been that long. It was.
Right.
I don't even think, honestly, it was a better movie. I think Steppenwolf was a better villain in this movie.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not a lot there.
Right. So like, okay, so it brought it from a 40 to a 70, so it's still passing, still not great.
Yeah, still not great. It would be an 80 if it was cut down to like 2 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours would be pushing it, but like, oh, yeah, Zack Snyder, make a movie, not a documentary.
Yeah, and then, so, yeah, that's, there's a TikTok prompt that's like, what's your, controversial superhero opinion? Mine is Snyder Cut. It's not that great of a movie either.
Not that great.
Say what you will about Joss Whedon and his cut, but you could sit down and watch it in an afternoon and not have to, kill your entire day.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with Joss Whedon comedy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So
Have the most horrific moment in the entire movie. Well, that just happened.
yeah, that didn't go as planned. It's like
Holding his dead, like Peter Parker holding his dead hand. Oh, well, I guess you're an orphan now, there, Orphan Annie. Ha ha ha.
I guess we should call you Ant-Man from now on. He's like sobbing. Yeah. Okay. So I want to kind of pivot. So like, Black Adam came out. This is not anything major to report with this movie. It's just kind of is indicative of like where they're kind of trying to take this. Now, Black Adam, the whole deal was like he's a superhero who kills.
Yeah.
But if someone point out, you think about like every superhero movie we've seen for the past like 15 years,
so
they kill him.
I agree with that wholly. I think the thing that always pisses me off with the DC extended universe is that there's so much potential. As we see from Black Adam, is that there's multiple heroes in this, kind of basically going up against Black Adam.
Yeah.
What they should have done is the bad guys he's killing are like low level people.
Yeah.
Like the main bad guy is just like some dude who's like stealing from rich people or something. Like not really a big deal, and that's why he's a danger. That's why they need to stop him.
Right.
Like not every anti-hero has to be just a hero that kills people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so what I think I like about the Black Adam character is kind of like what, makes Doctor Doom so interesting is that he is the very definition of lawful evil. So Black Adam, much like Doctor Doom, is like the head of his own country. And so like his word is law. So they're like, the heroes in that universe, they're like, okay, he's bad and he like does bad things, but like technically it's legal because it's his country and he can do that stuff.
Which is, I think, is a really interesting, like, Chris Evans, Captain America would find really horrible to deal with.
Yeah.
Because legally, he's not doing anything wrong. He's working within his jurisdiction, and even the UN would be like, Steve Rogers, don't fucking step a foot in Moldova.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting. So there was a non-canon, but there was a crossover, a Superman and Spider-Man where they fight Doctor Doom. And at the end of it, they chase Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom gets back to the Latverian embassy. And Superman, they're like they're thinking about taking him in, but Superman's like, he's technically in Latveria where his word is law. So, legally I can't do anything. So he's not able. Like he's Superman, but he's still gonna follow the laws of man.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting to bring that out. Now Black Adam as a movie, people went to see it. It did well. It grossed higher than its budget, but. For the thing about superhero movies is the bar has been set so high.
Yeah.
Like Marvel movies are making hundreds of millions to the billions with their releases.
Yeah. But the thing is, like DC like people are already getting tired of Marvel shit.
Yeah.
Like Marvel shit is tiring. Like everyone was gushing about Werewolf by Night. It's fine.
I liked it because it was different, but it was the most violent Marvel thing I've ever seen so far.
Yeah, which is why they had to make it in black and white.
Right, yeah.
But what they should have been doing would like get these heroes and be like, all right, make something good. Don't worry about anything else. Just make it different than Marvel.
Well, that's kind of what they did with James Gunn's Suicide Squad. They let him. I'd say as a movie it's good. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I'd say it's a good movie. Like they let him like take it in his direction he wanted, and it turned out a pretty popular and pretty good movie.
The one thing I really liked is that Starro was a sympathetic villain at the end.
Yeah.
When he's just like, I was happy floating, staring at the stars. Like, that's good writing.
Yeah.
You don't need him to, like, a whole speech of how he was, like, abused and stuff. You can just have stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the like you are sympathetic with him because like through context you get to see that like yes he was abused and hurt and like that's what made him that way. But like yeah, so that was good. It was a sympathetic villain done well. And but Black Adam. So let's see. I'd say the coolest thing I'm seeing so far is the JSA because you know I think the one thing that this has gotten a lot of support from is the character and costume designs for all this.
Yeah, they look really good. Even, of course, The Rock, when he was Black Adam, looks awesome.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
also
put a lot of effort into this role, I don't think, but
It's The Rock.
Yeah.
He got paid to show up.
Right.
But everybody was like, yeah, the JSA are the shining stars in this. Which really sucks that Black Adam was basically got Boba Fetted, where it just became someone else's show halfway through. Which is fine. You know, these are interesting characters. I don't think it was the right movie.
Right. It seems like they wanted to, well, the other thing they talk about this movie is they seems like they didn't, not that they didn't really have a set direction with it. So it was like, okay, like, you know, there's reports that it was originally supposed to be a rated R movie, you know, at least heavy PG-13 with the violence and the Black Adam as a character. But then they sort of reworked it and shoehorned in like the kid sidekick. You know, so like a lot of what the critics and what, you know, other fans are saying is like, okay, it seemed like they wanted it to be an edgy superhero movie where the guy kills people, but they also wanted it to be a fun-filled family movie that the kids are going to go to, which I think I'm not going to probably go see it because of that. Not because I have anything against kids movies or you know movies made for families or kids. It's just I've seen 150 Marvel movies that are of that vein. So
yeah, if you want to see a kid-friendly movie, just watch Doctor Strange, the Dark Multiverse of Madness.
That's an itch. So one thing that they can do is, as Marvel is dropping the ball hardcore on the visual effects department, these guys seem to be picking it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that they should have just done it a little bit. The potential was there.
Yeah.
The potential was really there, where the JSA is just like, you know, they're used to fighting low-level villains, and now they have to fight this dude who's just literally going berserk.
Yeah.
You know, and instead of having to like use their physical prowess, which they usually can do very well, they have to be outsmart them basically.
Right. Yeah, and like it'll be interesting to see if they stick with this formula or if they take it in a different direction. Because, like I say, this movie was successful in that it made a profit, but it's not the kind of profit that people that studios are looking for with these types of movies anymore.
Yeah, but like what they really have to look at, because Marvel is Marvel and it's just fucking Disney.
Yeah.
Disney puts out shitty movies like Encanto. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that. Just an okay movie and they'll make more money than God. What they have to do is build up something quality. You know, Marvel's Marvel, but if you give people a different alternative, they're gonna start going to that eventually, and then build your universe. They're not gonna blow it out with one movie.
Right.
What they're looking for is their perfect movie that's gonna make $1 billion at the box office and going from there, instead of actually organically building up their movie structure.
Say what you will about Disney and their animated studios, no DC movie has ever made me cry, unlike Encanto.
Fair enough, but their shows.
Yeah, the shows. Okay.
Their shows.
Oh, come off it. No one actually gives a shit about that. People are. I watched it. I enjoyed it. One thing I can say is that DC animated, killing it in the game.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they should be doing with live action. Just being like, fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yeah.
We're just doing what we need to do.
Well, they were like, okay, we're gonna take this in a more like a heavy PG-13 light R type direction. Yeah. Not with any like full nudity or anything, but I don't think. I can think there's one actually, but there's nudity. But anyway, so but yeah, these are like much more dark, mature stuff, and you get to see like it's kind of like how like in the Justice League Unlimited show, you get to see the Justice League working together, interacting.
Yeah.
You know, it gets to see how much they hate not Kyle Rayner. God, what's it? Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
God, they hate him so much.
But the thing I don't like is that a lot of them are Batman movies.
Yeah,
They really rely on Batman a lot,
yeah,
which there are a lot more other. There are a lot of other really edgy DC heroes. you
yeah.
can
But
pull from.
he's the guy.
Yeah, he is. I do want to see more detective movies from Batman, though.
Yeah, well, like the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
The Batman is a detective movie. That was great. Yeah, I really like that movie.
Phenomenal.
Nothing bad to say about that movie.
Yeah.
We already talked about that a lot, and honestly, I think that
Everyone was talking about how Ben Affleck's Batman was killing people, and then Robert Pattinson's Batman will literally make a 10,000 car pileup and blow it up in the middle of it and drive through it to get one guy and be like, "That's fine."
yeah, like what was his end game there? Like okay, it's like okay, I get there's a car chase there, but like what was he planning on doing? Should he ever have caught up to the Penguin? Like, let's say it was an empty highway. What's he gonna do?
I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far, but I will say that movie made me scared of a car for the first time.
Yeah, but then again, they're like shooting at him, and he got in his car. Like, what's he gonna do with it now that he's in his car?
Well, the point of Batman is that he makes people afraid. He gets in that car, people are shitting their pants.
Yeah, they're running away. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would run away from that car.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, what's next?
Let's see here. So another thing. So the main thing we started talking about a little bit, but basically one of the side effects of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman is that he is no longer going to play Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher on Netflix.
And Liam Hemsworth is going to be playing Geralt instead.
Yeah. Which I don't want to shit on Liam Hemsworth because I was thinking about it. It's like, oh, Liam Hemsworth is going to play it. That guy. I'm thinking about it, it's like he hasn't really done anything bad.
No, he hasn't really done anything bad. He is a good actor, but the thing is, I think Henry Cavill. I think Superman. I think Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
I think a giant bruiser, a dude who's a man mountain who could crush my throat,
but with unspeakable depths of tenderness and humanity.
Exactly.
Behind the eyes.
When I think of Liam Hemsworth, I think of Hallmark's Proposal at Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
He gives off the vibe of like a Hallmark Netflix special movie.
Yeah, not just like he's 10 times more tall, hunky, and Australian than we will ever be.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely
Geralt of Rivia. I'm not a big Witcher fan, but at this point in the show, Geralt of Rivia has a very specific mannerism about him. He's a very specific.
Yeah, Henry Cavill seems to have built that character.
Yes, he was a huge fan. Oh, not was. Is a huge fan of the Witcher series.
You know what? Just for shiggles, here's Henry Cavill playing Warhammer. Like,
it's adorable.
Look how tiny those figurines are in his massive Chad hands.
Yeah, and when you hear him talk about it, it's not like one of these things where celebrities will feign interest and stuff. This is what he likes to do.
Yeah.
This is it. Henry Cavill gets off the set of playing Superman. He's in his Superman onesie. It's just all right. So now the Imperium of Man is putting their dreadnoughts into hyperspace. You fool.
Those chopper boys aren't going to make it here. No way.
Do you think he does the voices? Do you think he does the voices of his...
Henry Cavill 1000% does the voices of all the different factions. I'm going to look up what his favorite is.
I don't know what his favorite is. I think... I don't know. He talks about it a lot. I want to say Imperium of Man, but that's the basic bitch,
Yeah. Henry Cavill's favorite Warhammer faction. As a kid, he mentioned he never really had anyone play. His favorite armies were the Custodies, topping the list. Yep.
Yes, and then the Blood Angels and Salamanders.
Taking a close second. All right. So someone in an interview just asked him who would Sherlock play in Warhammer because he plays Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
This man plays Sherlock Holmes and Superman, which are my top 2 favorite characters ever.
If he plays Ghost Rider, it's the trifecta.
Yeah. He's got the turkey across the franchises. Or if he gets a Star Wars role.
Okay, so you have to cast Henry Cavill as something in the Marvel Universe. What would you pick? He has the time. He is all in for it. What do you put him in?
I think you could put him in a with Geralt. You put him in a long blonde wig. He'd be a really good Thor. I think
Has to be a new character. Has to be a character that has not appeared on screen
Oh
yet.
crap! I don't even know. You're like whenever someone asks me this stuff, I always get a brain freeze. Marvel characters, not in MCU. There we go. All right, so let's take a look here. I wonder if like a young Magneto maybe.
Or a Colossus.
Yeah, well, maybe not Colossus because I mean Colossus he does have a really interesting character, but like you need someone ginormous.
Oh, what about Mr. Sinister?
He'd be a great Mr. Sinister.
I would also see him as a good. Okay, so if I would cast an X-Men
Or
movie,
Beta Ray Bill.
maybe yeah. If I could cast something, okay, I would cast Henry Cavill as Wolverine, or not Wolverine, Sabretooth.
Yeah.
And then I would cast what's his name? He's in Taboo and
Played Bane.
yeah, he played Bane. Fuck.
It's always the names that get Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, and I would have Tom Hardy as Wolverine.
Wolverine, huh? Frankenstein's monster is a canonical Marvel character, as is Dracula.
As is Dracula.
Be a good Dracula.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Khazar.
well, I mean, yeah.
Or I knew a bunch of these people would be good.
I would also cast in that same movie in the background. I would have the guy that plays Wayne and Shorzy. I would have him be Captain Canada.
Yeah. Or yeah, that'd be good. I'm trying to think here. Sentry. Sentry's pretty Sentry's basically Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
he could be Squirrel Girl.
yeah. So
just have him play have him play Squirrel Girl, but as Geralt of Rivia.
have you seen these? They were gonna cast Milana Vaintrub. Milana Vaintrub. She's from the was it T-Mobile commercials?
AT&T.
AT&T commercials. They were gonna cast her as Squirrel Girl, and there was some test screen, some test images of her wearing the costume that leaked, and people went nuts. They're like, this has to happen. No pun intended, by the way. People went nuts. Squirrel Girl.
That was pretty corny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corny, I should say. So I've really never seen her in acting or anything, and then I saw Werewolf Among Us.
Great.
Phenomenal, perfect. She's a really good actress, So yeah, I am all for it.
So, I'm trying to talk about the friggin' behind the scenes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So The Witcher. Liam Hemsworth is going to be the new Geralt of Rivia, which I don't know if you. This just seems like a bad idea. Nothing against Liam Hemsworth. I think he could do the job, but you're basically reinventing a character that people have been coming to see.
He might be one of those guys that are like, okay, I can't fuck this up, and then he just he blows it out of the water.
I think, or there's no way that he's not going into this like that though. I can't imagine that. Now, again, no shade to Liam Hemsworth, but after Mocking, I looked up his, IMDb. After Mockingjay, there's not really a ton that he's done that's gained a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
He was in a Quibi.
Really?
A Quibi, yeah.
Oof.
Which
Dangerous Game. I heard that was actually one of the only Quibi shows that was good.
Yeah, but for those of you who don't know, Quibi was a streaming platform that lasted a year maybe.
And everything that streaming service should be, it didn't do right.
Yeah.
And it was just a massive failure.
Well, its whole idea was we're going to make 10-minute shorts, shows, segments or shows or movies, basically super short stuff. And they were like, this is so people can watch it on a treadmill. They can watch it start to finish on a treadmill.
Yeah, but then if you want to watch it on your TV, you can't.
Right.
It's
exactly.
only on your phone, which is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And then people were locked in their homes for a year.
Oh yeah, yeah. So things were not good for Quibi. But...
However, I would say this: what if instead of Liam, they just do a whole 180 and it's actually Chris?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, I think, physically, Chris Hemsworth, I think, bridges the gap between Henry Cavill and his brother Liam.
Yeah, but he's also really good at comedic roles and
But I also feel, but I don't want to. I also, first of all, I think at this point, Chris Hemsworth can afford to turn down roles. I don't know if Liam Hemsworth is particularly in that point in his career. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take this away from Liam. I want to see him succeed because I feel kind of shitty for instantly being like Liam Hemsworth. Like he hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that it's kind of like one of those things where you basically have perfect casting,
Mhm.
and then it kind of goes.
Yeah.
So it's not really Liam himself. It's just kind of the situation.
I'm trying. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know why Henry Cavill left The Witcher, but I want to just.
It
wanna
was
make double sure.
scheduling issues with the Superman role. They just wouldn't collide, and there were rumors that actually on set, the writers of the the Witcher series didn't actually respect or really respect the fans of the source material.
Yeah. That's kind of a rumor, right?
That's a rumor, but like it's not uncommon for that to happen. Good writers are just sometimes put onto shows and movies that they don't care about.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. Okay, and like, okay, so not everyone's into stuff. Like, okay, I'm super into like Star Wars, Superman, Sherlock Holmes, The Witcher. I'm not into Doctor Who. Tons of people are super into Doctor Who. I think it's corny and dumb.
Star Trek as well.
So like, but like if I was in the writers' room, I probably would not change my mind about that. So yeah, that makes sense. Like people have their what they like and don't like.
Absolutely.
And not just in it, but
To each their own.
yeah, and you know, you can write episodes and not be a fan. So
Yeah.
so I'm not super jazzed about it. What I am super jazzed about is how things are shaping up WB, especially we talked about this the way they treated the Batgirl movie.
Mhm.
So those of you guys that don't know, I'm just gonna double check because I think this was coming up in the news. Before I make a fool of myself. Jared, bring up the thing.
I'm not at the computer.
Okay, Batgirl, murder. Okay, so nothing. That's nothing. Like, there's been a few updates, but the situation remains the same. Basically, with the Batgirl movie, they had this movie done, wrapped, edited, ready to go, but they decided to scrap it.
Which is weird. So
Yeah, like-
I think this is really weird because there are always like promos and trailers for this kind of
Yeah.
shit. Like all the time. I didn't see anything. I didn't
Yeah.
even know this was a movie until I heard it was, and then it was canceled.
Yeah,
Like that's really weird. So they planned on doing this way beforehand because there was not a ton of promotional material. There was no trailers because even they put trailers out during the editing process too.
Yeah.
Like at least some teasers or something.
yeah. Even this, which seems to be somewhat promotional, is not super polished. This looks like, you know, no offense to this actress or the costume, this looks like a Six Flags theme park image.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the idea was that they decided instead to take the rumor is that they screen tested Black Adam, Batgirl, and Black Adam tested is better, but people are like actually they tested about the same, and they got rid of Batgirl. They wrote Batgirl off as a tax write-off, but as part of that, they have to completely shelve it. So this movie's never going to see the light of day ever.
So if there's somebody over at Warner Brothers DC that can leak it, would probably become a hero in
Yeah.
everyone's mind.
Yeah. They would probably also put them in jail forever because money.
Yeah.
But this was kind of shitty because, like all the I think like especially this actress, I was thinking about it. If I got cast in a superhero movie, that would make my life. And
Yeah.
the idea that like they just wrote it off completely so that they just for like a tax write off, that really sucks. And like all the people like who worked on it, and apparently they were supposed to bring more business to the area of like Scotland where it was filmed, but didn't. So it's kind of weird. Like it's kind of weird how they seem to be doing that. Much more recently, they just axed Stargirl, which is a CW show.
Huh.
So, but what seems to be going on here is they seem to be going more towards trying to form a cohesive universe / timeline. So-
instead of just doing their own thing.
Yeah, so Stargirl is like from the Arrowverse, like CW, like Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow.
Gross.
But Stargirl is actually Earth 2, so it's like a separate universe within that universe.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
they are. It's a good. Apparently, it's a good show. It's got fans, but
To be fair, every time the Flash does something, it breaks the timeline, and they
Yeah.
just don't give a fuck. So I think they need to get their shit straight.
Yeah, definitely like the CW DC shows are definitely one of those fandoms that I've never gotten into because much like Doctor Who, I just think it's a little too corny.
Yeah, it's
But
basically there's a superhero, and now he's got a team, and with a secret lair, and they're gonna do the same thing, and then they're gonna try to bang his sister.
yeah, but yeah, for some
Every time in a show.
I don't know why they went that direction with it, but like
Every goddamn time.
because he's not even exaggerating, but stepsister,
Adoptive sister.
adopt yeah. Anyway, either way, so
Still, like every time in a show, they're like, "Hey, there's gonna be two siblings. You know what we should do?"
yeah, so basically it's the Game of Thrones effect.
Yeah.
But the CW shows have a lot of hardcore fans, but what they are trying to do basically make a superhero movie
Yeah.
with a fraction of the budget, but they got to make 30 superhero movies per season per year.
Yeah. You want to know what else is getting a lot of movies that really doesn't fucking deserve it?
What?
Avatar.
Avatar.
The Last Airbender. The Last Waterbender.
Book 2, water.
2, water. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. If you're an Avatar fan, great. I don't give a shit. After like the first one, I forgot Avatar was a thing. I didn't care. It doesn't need a sequel, and it's the definition of unnecessary. And if this movie doesn't make more money than God, it's just the rest of the movies are just scrap. They have 5 movies planned.
Yeah, well, okay, so if you guys cast your mind back to 2000, was it 2012?
2012.
Cast your mind back to 2012 when the first Avatar movie came out. So
we just updated all of our TVs to HD. Otherwise, we weren't going to get TV anymore.
Yeah, so we just updated to HD. 3D, both in movies and on TVs, was all the rage. But that trend died down about 2 years after that. 3D movies in theaters really aren't a thing anymore. Like I think they do still show them, but people
Sometimes.
like they are definitely not pushing it as much as they used to, and people aren't really into it.
It's definitely more of a niche gimmick.
Exactly. And that high definition, Avatar still holds up as far as special effects, but special effects have come so far that like every movie they come out with has massive level of special effects.
And also, like, I'll watch a movie that has good writing, is interesting, and has had my interest for a while, that doesn't have really good effects. I'll watch that more than an Avatar movie.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the trailers, it looks awesome. It looks amazing. Everything looks realistic and everything, and I still just don't care. Why do I want to watch a photorealistic blue person do something I didn't care about the first time I saw this?
I mean, yeah, so they, I lost my train of thought. So that's interesting you should say that, because one thing I keep seeing pointed out about Avatar, the first movie, it broke box office records. It was this huge deal. Everyone went and saw it. A year after that, you never heard anything about it. Like it's not, okay, so say what you will about Star Wars, about Marvel, about even the Green, maybe not the Green Knight, but
it has its dedicated fans. Like,
yeah,
it has its very dedicated fans.
But okay, say what you will about, or say what you will about the Justice League movie. Like 4 or 5 years later, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Avatar, that came out and like that was it.
Like the big thing that it was that was talked about immediately afterwards was it was just Dances with Wolves with blue people.
Say what you will about Titanic, that still gets referenced all the time.
Yeah.
That was like it was interesting, it was cool, especially for the time.
Jurassic Park.
It's not a cultural touchstone like any of these other much less successful movies are.
Exactly. And the only thing that the real sticking point for the marketing and everything else was how great the special effects were. They were building. I can't like tell you enough of how big this was, because they were literally inventing new ways to film for this movie, and that was their big selling point. But we got to like the point where we kind of hit the peak.
Mm-hmm.
They're just perfecting the things that they've already perfected.
Right.
So they're kind of like just traipsing around the top of the mountain at this point.
Right. Well, that's the thing when when I was working at the big blue corporation selling TVs, you'll figure out who it is. They were selling 4K was coming out, and they were trying to come out with 8K, and then like we're coming out with 16K, but we were like, eventually, but I was like looking into it, like, will it get any more high definition? And they're like, pretty much above that, your eye's not going to be able to tell the difference.
Nope.
And like that, a lot of that stuff was like, I think even above 4K, people can't really tell the difference because it gets so minute.
Yeah. So when I was in this one time, I was visiting my brother in the store, and they were showing King Kong at like 16K, the most realistic movie I've ever seen. Didn't care. Because if I'm being 100% honest, I don't want my movies to be realistic, like that realistic. I want them to be movies. I really do enjoy that separation from where I am and the movies. I like that. That's okay.
Yeah, and here's another thing. So like, you think about it, like it worked. Okay, it worked with Spider-Man across the universe, but imagine every single frame.
Across it's where Spider-Man just sings a bunch of Beatles songs and goes to Vietnam for 10 seconds.
What is it? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah,
Into the Spider-Verse. Across the universe.
You know what? Screw it. Fuck it. It was not even that interesting of a thought. So
No. What were we saying?
So like, okay, imagine like there's a fight scene and you pause it in that single frame. Like normally you pause it and there's like some blur, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you pause it and like that single frame is immaculate and like in completely high definition, no blur whatsoever.
Yeah.
Is that going to be good for the viewing experience?
Not really. Maybe for playback.
Exactly.
But other than that.
So another thing I read about this like after. I don't know if this was real or not, but they were talking about the Avatar effect, where people were getting depressed by the fact that they couldn't live in the Avatar universe, and of course, as like Star Wars and or superhero fans, were like, first time,
or like Middle Earth fans.
Yeah. First time being depressed that you can't live in the fantasy world that you're such a fan of. Yeah, welcome to the club.
I would hate to live on Pandora. You know why? I really like darkness when I sleep. You're just tossing and turning. Everything is a nightlight.
Yeah. It's like, and like, what, like the Super America Army guys, like everything that crawls through the mud wants to kill you. You're in Vietnam now, boy.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting movie, but it was one of those movies where, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it again.
Right.
That's where I'm at. Why would I want to watch this again? I don't want to. And there's, as far as I'm concerned, the story ended. And it did end 10 years ago.
Right. One thing I will go back on, I don't remember what the character's name is, the army guy who's the main villain.
Yeah.
I think that was an army guy villain done well.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, I'm not about that industrial military complex, but like that character, I got the idea. It's like, okay, he is like going hard to like destroy this culture and these people, but you get the idea that like his character is like, it's literally nothing personal. Like if he got pointed in another direction, he'd be going somewhere else.
He's a soldier at the end of the day.
Yeah, he wouldn't care anything about these people if he wasn't like assigned to it. Like I feel like that's a good way to write those characters. But that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see how it does. James Cameron, he's one of those directors where I'm never impressed with what he does. So if this crashes and burns and blows up in his face, good.
He's like, we got 5 more movies of this shit.
And I'm just lurking in the background. You wanted this.
You know what? Just for shiggles, we're gonna talk about Dracula.
Oh my god, you guys can't see this, but like while we're working, like we're talking about this, he brings out the list again.
I'm just scrolling through it because I forgot to mention this thing. Dragon Lives Again. This is a Bruce Lee knockoff movie. After Bruce Lee died, they produced a bunch of knockoff movies about this. His wife had to sue like down the road to get the rights back. And this is my favorite one of these. So basically the story is Bruce Lee dies, goes to hell, meets Popeye, Dracula, Elvis, Clint Eastwood, and Emmanuel, who is a softcore porn character from the time. And like has to punch and kick his way out of hell.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
Why haven't we seen this movie?
Because it's hot garbage. It's borderline unwatchable.
Good. I want to watch it. I want to put that in my face.
Okay, so any last parting thoughts?
I think Marvel was good. It was entertaining. I think it doesn't have anywhere to go. Justice League has the most potential.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's controversial. I'm gonna say it anyways. I think Namor is going to defeat the new Black Panther by mandating a vaccine before they fight.
Okay. But I think what's funny, so remember in the last season of Rick and Morty, there was the character who was like the king of the seas, who was
Yeah.
just like this incredibly powerful but overly sexual like sea person.
Yeah.
That's actually exactly what Namor is.
Yeah.
Like one of his powers is that women are strangely attracted to him.
Yeah.
And he's just like highly sexual.
I do like that they took him in more of like they're taking like Atlantis with a more an Aztec theme. I think that's gonna be cool and visually interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Hell yeah. And honestly, like I gotta stop watching The Boys because I can't look at this poster without being like, I am a pawn in Vaught's game right now.
Rise of the Seven.
Yeah, I went and consumed their product.
I like Maurice Theron.
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron to be the Stormfront in the movie. It's she's just like playing here. I'm like, whoa, that's exactly what would happen too.
Oh God, that I can't with that show. One thing why I'm worried about like the whole evil Superman thing is watching these shows. I'm not going to be able to watch a like Justice League again without being like, you are corporate freaking monsters.
Well, I mean, like if they actually go up against corporate monsters, they could be helpful. But you know, it's DC and Warner Brothers or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, hell.
But it is Gamevember, so we are going to do more game stuff.
All right, let's leave off on a game thing. Let's talk about Blight. You gonna play Blight?
I am going to play Blight. I think I'm going to get it. I'm going to see if my friends can get it. Because I think that's one of the main attractions for these games is that you get your friends to play with you.
Yeah.
Playing with randos is fun, but you never know what you're going to get with it.
Exactly. It's like a box of chocolates. We quoted Forrest Gump a few times this time.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking out to see if Sifu goes down in price.
Okay.
I'm not paying $40 for a game. But like for some reason, the sound of those punches is like ASMR to me, so I'm getting that game.
Sometimes the sound design in the game is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
If Warhammer 3 goes down in price, I'll be getting that too. I like Warhammer Total War. It's my jam.
It's something we have in common with Mr. Cavill.
So Jimmy, you ignorant slut, he is into 40K. We are.
It's all under the Warhammer banner. It's
Fair
same company. Hop off my
same
back.
Chaos Gods.
Like
same Chaos Day.
Yeah. So all right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And of course, we know this is not a political channel, but please go out and vote in this November midterm election. Democracy is democracy. You need to do it.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Democracy, yeah, you gotta do it.
Yeah, you got to. So please go out to vote. Of course, and big shout out to Big Nerd Coffee Company for sponsoring us. They are great. Give them a little bit of a like and go get some great coffee. And of course, if all through Gamevember, there's going to be a lot of new games. Titles dropping. So if you want us to go over one or talk about one, comment or message us on our Facebook or Instagram. Leave your question, comment, or concern with your name and preferred pronouns, and we will answer it live on air.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Jimmy.
This has been Jarrett.